I'll just give you the floor on Dan Campbell, and you just saw the soundbite where you eat, drink, and you eat, sleep at the game. You know what are you going to do? I'm going to drink the game. What do you think of this guy, Calvin?
You gotta love him, man. He's authentic. That's just Dan, just being his authentic self, and just like I say, just staying true to himself. I mean, you can read authenticity. You can read when somebody's being fake, and we don't get anything fake from Dan, and that's why his players respond the way they do, because he just his authentic self to them. He doesn't treat anybody different than the other. He treats them all the same. Expects all of them to be great, to bring their best potential to practice, to the game, and that's all you can ask for in a coach. That he's the same level-headed person, and he's the same with everybody.
And what's your relationship with him? I mean, whenever you go to the games, you're hanging out there, you see him, or you're around the team. What's that about, Calvin?
Oh yeah, I get around to practice whenever I can. I get to a couple of them throughout the season. I'm trying to get to a couple of them here in the playoffs. I try to holler at them whenever I can. Before the game, after practice, it's always great to talk to him, especially because this is uncharted territory for us here in Detroit. So just to get a feel of what he's feeling, what he's thinking, it's pretty cool, man, just to see, how he's driving these guys to, perform at their best, even though we might see that they might be a little depleted on that defensive side. It's just the level of coaching that he got around him, man, and everybody's just stepping up to the plate.
And now here's the we're going to stick the landing here, guys. Do you know Dan Campbell was a teammate of Calvin Johnson's when he showed up as a rookie for the Detroit Lions and was in fact on that team that we were referring to before, 0-16, right? I mean, tell me your favorite Dan Campbell teammate story. Do you have one, Calvin?
Dan Campbell he's almost like RoboCop when he was out there, because he had like this, he did something to his shoulder or something. He had this big old sleeve that he played with. And the fact is that, he was still our best tight end, and he never complained. He just went out there and got his job done. You never hear anything, the coach saying anything to him, just because he was prepared. And that's why that's why I was so happy about him. That's why I'm so happy about him being here in Detroit, because I know he's going to have these guys prepared, because he was always prepared to play. And like I say, he doesn't BS. He's just straight to the point. It's black and white. Get your job done, and he's gonna love on you too. Now he has a sense of humor. He's a family man. So all those things together, they just make a great coach.
If I had told you, if I was able to wave a wand, and I'm now going back in time, I'm in the primitive hot tub time machine, right? And and I go back in time, and I tap you on the shoulder in the middle of the 0-16 season, and I point to your teammate Dan Campbell and say, he is going to be the guy to coach a 15-win Detroit Lions team to be the 1 seed and be the prohibitive favorite to make the Super Bowl and send Detroit to the Super Bowl. You would have said what, Calvin?
You need to put down the cannabis.
What you smoking on, bro?
Yeah, I'm using the product. That's what you're saying. Really,
100%. Right? I mean, we just went 0-16. I was like, anybody just trying to go as far as they can away from here right now. I would have never thought that in 1,000 years.
Did he have a coaching mentality? Did you see anything? I guess the roots of that when you were playing with him?
I didn't get a chance to see the roots of it. Obviously, he went to other places and got some interim roles and whatnot. But right. What I can speak to is just the consistency with which he played, his consistent demeanor, and him being a lovable guy. He's a great teammate. Like I said, his sense of humor has always been there. And so those things, like I say, those things have definitely, and then being a player coach, somebody that actually played in this league, those things will help you become a better coach.
What's it like standing on the Ford Field sidelines or just right before a game, and you're looking around and you're seeing what's in the stands and the energy in that building and what this team has become for the city and potentially the future? What is that like for you, Calvin Johnson?
It's awesome because this is a sports town. I mean, we love all our sports here. We're really smart fans. But football, we need a football winner. We have a football winner, the city might burn down, because people they bleed, they breathe football, especially Detroit Lions football. And what this team has meant for the city over the last year and a half, going on 2 years now, you just see the energy everywhere you go. I mean, obviously in Detroit, everybody's bouncing around. Everybody's, got something good to talk about because our team is doing well. But it stands outside the city. You're starting to see, I go I snowboard. I go out to the mountain town. You see lion stuff all the way out in remote places. It's beautiful to see. But it all starts here with this team, man, and that very energy, that good culture, it exudes well outside. It permeates the culture here in Detroit.
What do you think is the best feature of this team?
It all goes back to the grittiness with which, this team started. I think that's what our fans respect the most about it. That's why this place is so loud, because we have so many guys that are willing to sacrifice, that are willing to bust their butt, that are willing to go out there even though they're not feeling their best and lay it on the line. We're able to see that each and every day from this team. You got guys that are in the community that are trying to help their fellow brethren. You see guys that come from other teams that come here and they get thrown into the lineup and are ready to play. But a lot of that just goes back to the fundamentals and the coaching and the situational situations that they put themselves in practice. So I just all boils back down to the grit, that we have here in Detroit. We want to work. You come here, you got it.
Well, speaking of dance cards, Luke, you calling the games locally on the radio, on the Panthers radio network. Week 2, you saw the Chargers. Week 7, Washington. Week 8, Denver. Week 12, Kansas City. And week 14, Philadelphia. Weeks 13 and 17, Tampa. They all have one thing in common. They have made the playoffs. So which is the best team, do you think, that you personally witnessed, Luke?
Oh, I think it'd be hard to. I wasn't at the Eagles game. I didn't get to do that one. I had something else going on.
Okay.
I think the Chiefs to me, I mean, you can tell a lot by a team and how they warm up prior to the game. Are they loose? Are they confident? Are they having fun? The energy that you can feel from the Chiefs is very much the players. The players are the team. They have confidence in who they are. They follow number 95. They follow Travis Kelce. They follow Mahomes, and they are loose and they are confident, and they just feel like a team that's been to the Super Bowl and won 2 in a row. That's just what they feel like to me. And they don't always win pretty this year, but they were pretty daggone good. And I think that was the best team that we played this year.
No doubt. But the Panthers gave them all they could handle in that game. If I'm not mistaken, that's the one where Mahomes was running down the sideline and took care of business towards the end of it. And that result was kind of the pinnacle of the narrative all year long, that the Chiefs are winning with smoke and mirrors, pulling it out of various orifice towards the end of the game and being a tad more lucky than good. So I'm wondering where you stand on that subject matter, even though we have seen the Chiefs kind of turn it around a little bit more in the last month of the year.
I think good teams just know how to win games, and that's what the Chiefs are. And I think some of these teams, the Chiefs have been in the Super Bowl last 2 years, have been in the playoffs the past couple of years. I sometimes think, do they get bored playing in the regular season? Do they get bored traveling on the road and playing a 1 o'clock game in the middle of the season in October when they know we're going to win our division, we're going to have a couple home games, and then the ultimate goal is to get to the Super Bowl? So I think, like, number one, good teams know how to win games. They have the best quarterback out there that can take them down the field. Kelce, the narrative on him all year is, oh, he's not doing anything. And then when they need him, he shows up. Chris Jones is a monster. That Spagnuolo defense is really good, but they're the Kansas City Chiefs. They've won the Super Bowl the last